opportunity. We went to Stanford a couple weeks ago, but we weren't running our events, and so this weekend we're actually running our events, and yeah, just excited to soak in all the good moments. I have 19 women here, so I told them today, let's get 13 great performances. So we're already almost there.
For sure. All right, thanks.
Thanks so much.
And thank you, Nicole, as we are now underway in section number 1. This is our fast section on the men's side in the steeple, and we've got an incredible field here. So rabbiting up front, pace lights are set for 8:20, and you see Anthony Rotich getting into position, and this is Teotin Legree of Wingate. He's ranked number 1 in Division 2 in the 1500 and the 5000. Don't let that Division 2 fool you, Carson. He ran 13:28 for 5000 at Raleigh.
Definitely don't let it fool you, Kevin. Tetuan Legree of Wingate is a monster out of the Division II ranks. We've got a couple of other Division II studs to come who are ranked behind him, not by much, but still in the 10K tonight. Just going to show you the versatility of the smaller school prospects that we've got as our leader, Gable Ciaperda, leads us with hip number 17.
And also in this field, Bernard Couture of the U.S. Army, an Olympian for the U.S. He's run 8:17. And then a name that really popped out for me and I'm curious if the steeple is going to be a greater part of his repertoire, is Joe Wascom. So 2-time NCAA champ in the 1500, also a runner-up. And I can see him there kind of settled comfortably into the field, has run the steeple, won the Pac-12 previously. But is he going to move to the steeple? I look way back, and I'll date myself just a bit, but I thought it was such a key move for Jaeger when he moved to the steeple. He was a world championship qualifier at 5,000 meters, Evan Jaeger, and turned out to be America's best steepler in history. And with the 1500 being so deep, I'm a big fan of Wascom running the steeple here.
He could be using it as a training distance. We've seen Evan Jaeger use the 5K at Bryan Clay as a training distance to get better at the steeple, to build that strength. Wascom, ever since he won his first NCAA title in the 1500, he's kind of veered away from his steepling roots, but it's nice to see him revisit it and kind of redevelop that strength as he develops into his years as an Adidas pro.
Rotich and Geoffrey Kirwa of Louisville, who is ranked 13th in the NCAA after running 13:30 for 5,000 meters. He's right there with Josh Ruto of Iowa State. The freshman has run 8:41. There is so much depth across this field. Also want to point out CJ Singleton, who was 5th in the NCAA a year ago, ran 8:27. There's tremendous depth in this race. Kevin Lemo, who was 7th at Stanford, ranked 10th in the NCAAs in this field. Rob McManus from Montana State, who's the Big Sky champ, ran 8:29 here in a lifetime best. He is among our leaders. So we've got a great field here. Carson Williams ran 8:37. This thing is loaded.
This is a race that sets up for PRs. You mentioned Carson Williams that just flashed across your screen wearing hip number 2 from Furman. He came in within just a second of his school's record at 8:36.51, set by Troy Reeder in 2016. Also a 7-time Southern Conference champion, 6 times as an individual, once over in the DMR, and he was even 11th at the NCAA National Finals in the steeple last year.
Bismack Kipchirchir of Akron moves into 3rd. He was 6th at Raleigh in 8:37, so currently in 3rd. That would be in 2nd among our intended finishers, as we are inside of 4 to go, right on those 8:20 pace lights.
Not sure how much longer Ciaperda is going to go. He's been taking a lot of frequent looks at both his watch and over his shoulder. But he's made this a fast race like we observed in the last lap, and that's going to set up for a pretty significant time in the early stages of this World Outdoor season. Not only is Matthew Kosgei's 8:22.13 collegiately, but that's also the current world lead over the 3,000 meter steeplechase. And as of right now, right on these pacing lights that are set for 8:20, we could have a chance at seeing something even quicker.
So solid pacing, and we are pretty well strung out here early as we are still inside of that 5-minute mark on this race. So Kirwa of Louisville continues to lead.
One name we haven't called much, Bismack Chipchachir, the Kenyan-born athlete representing for Akron right there in third. He is really impressing thus far. Just to stick with these top two, he wasn't one of the big names that we mentioned. In fact, according to his collegiate database, he has not competed in the steeple yet. So again, a big opportunity to really find your footing in a new event.
You know, the Bryan Clay Invitational does a lot of things, right? But one thing that it does do on a regular basis is it is kind of an outdoor coming out party for a lot of athletes. And I'm wondering about Ruto of Iowa State, who is a freshman. He's currently running in third place in this race. He's run 8:41, but he's young, and this might be the opportunity for him to really get himself on the NCAA stage.
He's got to keep Kirwa in his sights. He, on the other hand, though he is a freshman as well, he has run 8:22 for a personal best. He was the 2022 Kenyan national runner-up and even an African bronze medalist in the same year, and this is his race to lose at this point, now on pace with the blue lights.
It is not often you see an athlete running this easy at 8:20 pace. So he was just at 6:00s with 2 to go. So again, that world lead, like you mentioned, from 2 weeks ago at Stanford, looking to be in jeopardy at the moment.
I'll tell you, if he puts together 2 more 64s, it will certainly be in jeopardy. We could be seeing something right around 8:15. And the collegiate record, just to put it in our listeners' minds, 8:05.4 by Henry Rono of Washington State, one of the older records, but not just that record. The world standards is an 8:15, so that's another mark that's up for grabs.
So now we've got some contact up front, and McManus running in third at the moment. Williams up there in good position. So this race really shaping up to be a fast one.
I'll tell you, every time, Kevin, the leaders come by, I've been hearing the Furman crowd really roar on Carson Williams. They want to see him get that school record that he was so close to as a junior. He's really giving it his all with this pace, top of screen, as Kirwa continues to stretch it out at back-breaking pace.
So you see we are at 7:20 at the moment and well into our final lap. On the collegiate list, just 9 collegiates ever have run under 8:20, and we are watching one of the finest performances in collegiate history out front by Geoffrey Kirwa, the freshman from Louisville. Down the backstretch is inside of 200 meters, and he is absolutely dominating this race. Ruto running in second with Chipchachir and McManus right there, but out of the water is Kirwa of Louisville and into the main straightaway. Watch the clock for Kirwa as he powers home here. We are at 8:06 at the moment, and inside of that meet record as well. This is an all-time collegiate performance as he goes 8:13.89. That is the third fastest time in collegiate history. He is the #2 collegiate ever with that mark. Obviously breaks the meet record, 8:13.89, the fastest time in the world in 2025.
By nearly 10 seconds, Kevin. That was an incredible display over those final 2 laps. And that last lap was pretty darn close to 60 seconds flat. He just unleashed. Ever since the pace setter stepped off, there was no question. That was all Geoffrey Kirwa of Louisville.
You know, I